Hi, everybody. It's Monday, April 6th, and this is week one of our new teaching cycle. And before we get into that, I'd just like to talk a little bit about our Easter egg hunt. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and participating in the hunt, specifically the Ivanov family who came in a little bit early and helped me with the hiding all of the Easter eggs. And I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much. Likewise, everybody else who brought other potluck dishes to the party and made it a wonderful morning and early afternoon. Thank you for bringing everything. It really made it worthwhile and a special day. And we had four kids who got special eggs this time. I had some dollar bills that were hidden in some camouflage eggs. And there was one that I didn't think we were going to find. And we got three of them were found pretty quickly. And it took a little bit of my help to find the last one. And that was Miles got that last egg. So that was kind of neat. It was a little extra special thing for everybody to look forward to at the Easter egg hunt. Again, it was a wonderful, beautiful day, if not a little chilly. But thanks again for everybody for coming out and making the event worthwhile and just something that I really enjoy doing every year. So thanks for doing that. And there'll be more coming up. And let's see, yesterday was Easter, and my wife and I normally celebrate by planting. So yesterday we planted two new trees, and we're outside all day digging down and just kind of for the theme of spring and rebirth and the spirit of the holiday. It was just a fun family event to do and get done. So I hope you had a great Easter, and it was a relaxing day with family, and we're back to it today. And today is my little dragon, Nicholas Vallone's birthday. He has the honor of having his birthday sandwiched right between my father's birthday, which was yesterday on Easter, and my birthday, which is tomorrow. And I just want to say happy birthday to Nicholas. As I said, this is week one of our April teaching cycle, which means it's the beginning of the teaching cycle. So last week we were doing testing, and we were in a testing mode where students were demonstrating everything they learned. This week, starting today, will be me introducing new material, and I'm in a teaching mode. So everybody will learn new material this week. We'll be introducing their basics, along with just drills to warm up and learn the movements and the component parts of their self-defense techniques. And then we will get into the teaching and learning the self-defense techniques and working on those applications this week. So that's what's happening in week one. And at the end of this week, on Friday from 6 to 8 p.m., we are going to celebrate my birthday. And I'm doing that by having a free Nerf night. And we're just going to have a party from 6 to 8. And just if you haven't put your name on the list, there is a sign up sheet in the school. So just put your name down, and the buddy you're bringing to the Nerf night, just have both the guys come in, and we'll have a great night. So I look forward to that. It's going to be a fun night. Just make sure you bring your Nerf blaster. I will have Nerf darts, and just bring some kind of eye protection. And of course, bring your friend or family member, mom and dad, anybody who wants to participate, even once. Feel free to come on down and just say hi and just join in the fun. So with the new month, we have a new powerful word, and the powerful word of April is self-esteem. And it's one of the main reasons that parents over several decades of data that I've collected bring their kids to us to increase or work on their child's self-esteem. And as we look at self-esteem, the simple definition is that, you're just confident and you like yourself. And so you have this positive regard toward yourself. And for years back in the day, if you remember this, but I went through it when I was teaching back in the 90s. There was the rise of the self-esteem movement. So there's a whole movement where people realized that feeling good about yourself made it easier for you to succeed. So if you went into something and you had confidence in yourself, and if you felt like you could accomplish something, you had agency, you could go forth and succeed, and you can actually do the work that you needed to do to get something done. And so having a healthy self-esteem was it was seen as a good thing, which it is. But what usually happens is it gets kind of convoluted and misconstrued. So what happened back then was the idea that no matter what happened, people had to feel good about themselves at the expense of anything and everything else. So this is where we entered the age of participation trophies and nobody could feel bad. Nobody could lose. There weren't winners or losers in games. As far as the adults were concerned, the kids, they knew who won and lost. But the idea was that they just thought, well, this thing was good, so more should be better, and let's just make sure that people get it without any understanding of what it is that makes for healthy self-esteem. It was just like, you got to have healthy self-esteem, so let's get it. And the quickest way is just to tell somebody that they're great and they should know this and that there's nothing wrong, and to shield them from anything bad or negative, and that everything would be fine. And as we know, it wasn't fine. It led to a lot of people who were not resilient and couldn't handle when somebody else didn't like them or had different opinions, or when they failed. And so going way back to William James, who was the father of psychology, he defined a healthy self-esteem, or self-esteem in general, as your successes. So how successful you were at achieving whatever it is that you wanted over what that was. So whatever your goals were, whatever you thought you could achieve, how well you did. So on one, if you look at this as an equation, on the top, okay, in the numerator, it was your success. So if you became very successful, that would raise your self-esteem. So if you did really well, you felt good about yourself because you felt that you, again, had agency. You could do things. And on the bottom was basically your expectations. So if you had really high expectations, or overly high expectations, it would lower your self-esteem because it would be hard to be able to succeed. On the other end, if your expectations went to zero, your self-esteem would skyrocket. So in the denominator, if it's close to zero, it goes to, the answer goes to infinity. So that's what happened. So everybody said, well, we won't expect anything of you, and therefore you'll just feel great no matter what you do. And we have come to know, or to relearn, that that's not the best way to increase self-esteem. So there should be high expectations, and then there should be everything that can be done to achieve those expectations. And it should be a stretch. It should be a challenge. And having that high self-esteem, or a healthy self-esteem, not too inflated and not too deflated, is what we're looking for. So one of the ways to do that is to match the expectations with the degree of success. So if you have about 80% success in what you're kind of trying to do, with that 20% being something that you're striving for and that you have to reach for, that's going to lead itself to a healthy self-esteem. So it is important that it's, again, like happiness, self-esteem is not something that you get directly. It comes out of these other things, and focusing on those is really going to help. And that self-esteem comes out of that, and that allows you to keep moving forward. So we'll be talking about self-esteem all month in the classes, and on the mats, and in the lobbies. And so just, keep that in mind, is that it's not just feel good at any price, because the price can be pretty high. So I have some good news. If you've been at the school for any period of time, you know that in the past several years, my voice has gone in and out, and I've had laryngitis and hoarseness of breath and different things like that have affected my teaching. And we had thought that this was a result of my rheumatoid arthritis, that it was attacking kind of my throat and causing this. And I got checked out years ago, and they didn't find anything wrong. And so structurally, everything in my throat was fine. So it's been several years, and we've tried everything we can with my docs and everything I could think of, including rest, everything else. And I recently went and got a second opinion and just kind of an update to see what happened. And it turns out that it has nothing to do with my rheumatoid arthritis, which is the first piece of really good news. So what I have is something called muscle tension dysphonia, and they call it MTD. And it is basically all of the little muscles around my throat are affecting my vocal folds. So my vocal folds open and close fine. There's no cysts or lesions on them. So there's nothing structurally wrong with my throat. And so what this means is basically that I've got to go to speech and pathology, or speech and language pathology and therapy, to work out my throat in different ways to kind of get my musculature to relax and let my vocal folds do their work. So, as much as I teach about relaxing the body, it's really odd to have to work on these super small muscles that I have no control over, basically, in my throat, that I've got to retrain, basically, every day doing certain vocal exercises and things like that. But the good news is that I found out finally after years that there's a reason for it, and everything I was doing may have helped, but wasn't hurting it, and it wasn't due to any degenerative disease or anything like that. It's just that the muscles are contracting when they shouldn't be. And for singers who primarily get this, or anybody who is a teacher or talks for a living, if you do this extensively, I found it as fairly common. I'd never heard of it before this, but it's heartening to know that I can do something about it once we figured out what it was. And so hopefully at some point here in the future, my voice will go back to normal. And when I'm teaching, you won't hear any of the hoarseness in my throat. So fingers crossed. And I've got more work to do. So I'm up for it. I'm ready for it. I'm excited just to kind of be able to teach and speak as normal. But that is an update on that. So if you've ever wondered what that was, that's what it is. So MTD, I've got it, and I'm going to overcome it. So